Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about Superman versus the Elite. This animated movie came out in 2012, and it was part of the older, what was it? DC, let's see, no, it's DCUA OM movies. So this was back in the DC Universe animated original movies. Oh God, they were so good back then before they turned into crap. These were the movies spearheaded by Bruce Timm, and boy, he sure knew how to pick them. So this movie is based on a comic book by Joe Kelly called So What's So Funny About Truth, Justice, and the American Way that came back out in the year 2001. And it was directed by Michael Chang. And so back then, these movies used to sometimes they will follow closer to the comic. Sometimes they would, but steer a little off course and stuff like that. They had to streamline it in the 80-minute time limit that they're given. However, this one's a little bit shorter. It's about 70 minutes and stuff. And the art style used to be very similar to that or whatever the comic was about. I love the art style in this. It's bright, it's vibrant, there's a really unique anime quality to it. The only person in this movie that looks bizarre to me is Superman's face, not his body, just his face. There's just something odd about that cone-shaped head and that really big jaw they gave him in this movie. I don't know. Those weird teeny tiny eyes. It just don't work for me in this movie. But his body's cool. He's tall and beefy and stuff. But he looks even worse when he's Clark Kent. And so this is one of my all-time top favorite anime movies from the DCU and stuff. Not DCU, but DCA, whatever I said that long thing was. Lord Jesus, that's a long phrase. But this is actually my favorite overall Superman movie. It's my favorite when it comes to all the other animated movies from all the different phases. It's my favorite Superman movie from that of live action. This is literally my all-time favorite because this movie emphasizes who and what Superman is. He is a beacon of hope that will not cross the line. He refuses to kill, even though killing his villains would make the world a better place and stuff. And he is tested throughout this entire movie on that principle and stuff. And he's tested by a group called the Elite. And the Elite is a brand new kind of anti-superhero group that they believe in torturing, murdering, and killing their villains. And they do not like superheroes. They think superheroes are too fluffy and everything. And that what the world needs is a hard fist to the jaw. But better yet, a big fist through your chest and everything. And so he is constantly being tested by them. He's being tested by the American people. He's being tested by folks all around the world. And he's even being tested by that a little bit of Lois Lane, who kind of agrees with the Elite. This movie is truly what it is to be in Superman's shoes, to see all this bad and corrupt stuff happen, and then to still follow the playbook of the justice system, knowing the justice system is flawed. And more importantly, it shows why a hero should never kill, but more importantly, why Superman of all heroes should never kill with all the power he has. He is literally that beacon of truth, justice, and a better tomorrow, or the older phrase, truth, justice, in the American way. But Superman is more of a hero than just that of America. He's a hero for the entire world and everybody that embodies it and stuff. And so that's one reason why that phrase is like changed nowadays. Some people like it, other folks don't. And it's like, because you got to think about it, back when it was written back in the day, it's because Superman was, adopted by Americans, and, his colors were reminiscent of America. And like, two immigrants, I believe, immigrated, like two Jewish immigrants, like immigrated to America and created Superman. And, and they was living the American dream until DC screwed them over. Ooh, DC screwed them two men over so bad. I saw that documentary. Boy, DC's terrible. Like, if you think what they did to Bill Finger is bad, just wait until you see what they did to the creators of Superman. Like, I think one of them literally died alone, poor, in his apartment and stuff. But yeah, the phrase got changed because Superman is more than just that of a man for one country. He's that hero for the entire world and stuff. And this movie is extremely political and message heavy, which is ironic because back in the day in 2012, not one person moaned, griped, or complained or said, why they gotta push their agendas on us and everything. See, this is before simple-minded people got brainwashed by a bunch of idiots on YouTube and stuff. See, this didn't happen back in the day. You can have a message-heavy movie like this. You can have a movie with an agenda, and nobody complained, nobody whined, nobody wet their pants, and nobody cried their eyes out. Nowadays, oh, it's some whiny little guy on YouTube or some whiny little person on social media constantly crying and need a diaper change about how they're pushing the agenda and stuff like that, or why everything has to be political and stuff like that. But back then, it wasn't like that because there wasn't a bunch of like bigoted people trying to brainwash people for YouTube money. And so, yes, this movie is very like message heavy and stuff. And it is very political and stuff because there are two countries that hate each other going to war, and like they're just killing people left and right. And Superman is trying his best to persuade, the leaders of the world to do better and everything and stop using weapons and try to use peace as a solution, but they don't want to listen. And then when the elite comes in, they show people, hey, there's a better way of doing this. Screw what Superman is saying and just kill every single last one of them. And so, he is literally pent against the entire world. He's pent against like two different countries fighting each other. His own country he lives in, and a group of superheroes and everybody in the world. And so, and what I love about this movie is that this was, when it was a solo movie, it was a legit solo movie. You didn't see other superheroes popping in and trying to help, the New 52 animated movies or like the Tomorrowverse and stuff. This is a Superman solo movie. Even though other heroes are technically kind of mentioned, but never by name and stuff like that. And, I remember when this came out, and then Man of Steel came out. Man of Steel came out in 2013. And I remember being like, man, I really hope that like this storyline can be in like live action one day. And Man of Steel was like the only Superman we had at that time. So I'm like, man, I really hope Henry Cavill's like Superman can have like, Superman versus the Elite storyline. But oh, wait, what? He just snapped somebody's neck. Oh man. Then I'm all like, you know what? What if they make a Smallville movie or something like that? Like a TV movie, and maybe he can do, oh wait, he don't want to be Superman no more? He gave up his powers? The dude don't want to put on the suit? Ugh. which now Tommy Boy wants to put on the suit and do some type of Superman something. Like they're trying to get a Smallville animated like movie or a show going, but I don't want to see an anime. I want that man in live action. I want that man in that suit. And he should have did it for the CW Crisis Arrowverse thing, but no, he didn't want to do it. But now all of a sudden he does because of something with his kids and Halloween or something like that, and them having 50 suits around the house, but no Superman suits. And he asked his kids, "Hey, why don't you have a suit?" He's like, "Because you're Superman and everything." And he's all like, "Oh wait, I never played Superman. I was always Clark Kent." Ugh. I will never forgive that man for that. I like him, he's cool, and I like, his version of Clark Kent, and I like Smallville, but I will never forgive that man for never putting on that suit. And he was the main driving force behind the scenes not wanting to put on the suit. I'll never forgive him for that. And so it'll just be great if like they would do this in live action, because the Supergirl show, they had Manchester Black in like 7 or 8 episodes, but that was a completely different version. He was like in love with somebody else and wanting revenge, and he didn't even have a tattoo of the British flag on his chest. He just wore a shirt and a teeny tiny flag on his shirt. I'm like, come on, man. Like, you at least make the flag bigger on the shirt. Like, how hard is that? Like, just go to some company on Amazon and have them 3D print it on a shirt. Photo print that thing. And so, like, also, like, the whole Supergirl versus the Elite thing, that didn't even happen. So I'm just like, that was a waste of a storyline. Ooh, that was a waste of a storyline. So the voice cast for this is amazing. You have George Newbern he played Superman in the Justice League series. And Newborn, he was a really good Superman. He conveyed a lot of like hope, strength, bravery, that boyish charm, but in a more mature kind of way. And I like that about his Superman. His Superman voice is the one I actually grew up with, because I didn't hear Tim Daly's until like much later. Polly Perrette, she plays Lois Lane. And I really love her as Lois Lane. I love the design. I love her voice. I love how snappy she is. I love how like quick, like wit she is. And I love how sassy she is and stuff. My God, Robin, Ankin, what's his name? I'm trying to think. Robin Ankin, Dowles. He is a great Manchester Black. Like, honest to God, I thought he was the dude who voiced Constantine and everything, but he's not. But he sounds just like him. I mean, they sound identical. It is insane. And so, like, Melissa Disney, dude, she plays Pamela in this. Now, they never call her by her comic book, like anti-hero name, Menageri. They never call her that for some bizarre reason. I'm not sure why. But, like, she plays that, and she's really good, man. You have Andrew Kishinum, he plays the Hat, and you have Castro Colbert, he plays that of Coldcast. And so when it comes to that of the Elite, they are technically hired by the government over in Britain. The British intelligence MI5 is the one who created them. It all started because they found out Manchester Black has telepathic and telekinetic powers. And so, but they knew he was a hothead, but they didn't care. They just wanted their own version of like a Superman. And so later on, they started recruiting all these other people. And so he, has purple hair. He's a chain smoker. He has like a tattoo of the like British flag on his chest. And like, he kind of reminds me of Spike from Buffy. He's no nonsense. He goes straight to the point. He's rude. He could care less about hurting people, and he hates superheroes. Because what gets him to like come to America is that he overhears a speech by Superman about like, doing the right thing and how superheroes don't kill. And that just doesn't sound too good for him. So he has to come on over and try to teach Superman his way of justice and stuff. And he does it like with little baby steps and stuff. And so, like, what it is that when Superman's fighting like a kaiju monster, this bioengineered like weapon from another country, him and the elite come in to try to stop it, and they act like they're so weak and that they've never like really worked together before, and they need Superman to kind of help them out. So he's woozing, like he's like tricking him and stuff. And so when it comes to that, Pamela, she is this very flirtatious woman with like scaly green skin and wings and stuff like that. And she has all these creepy crawly little creatures inside her body. And she can unleash them and they can like tear apart anything or kill anybody. The Hat, he is a drunk. And he has a fedora hat that he can conjure all kinds of magic and stuff. He can conjure creatures. He can conjure like terracotta statues. He can like put a magical like barrier around his body so nobody can hurt him. Like all kind of stuff. Then you have Cold Cast. He is this like hot-headed person. He's big. He's a brute. He's missing one eye. And he has these kind of like, he's very strong and he can literally like absorb energy and he can literally dish out like this like electric magnetic like, power that like, he can hit Superman with like the strength of like 10 suns and everything and wipe his behind out. So they are very, very strong and Superman has a really hard time trying to take them down. And the thing about them is that, Manchester, he had a bad upbringing. His dad was a drunk and abusive and stuff like that. He had to take care of his little sister. And it's just one of those things where he just wanted to run away. And so he gives Superman that sob story and everything, but he doesn't tell him the full truth. In the movie, at some point, what is it? Like, his sister finds Lois because Lois, she's doing her journalism thing and her and Superman trying to figure out what the elite's about because they don't trust them and stuff. And so when she's over in England and stuff like that, Manchester's sister gives her a flash drive with all the truth on there. And all the truth is basically he murdered his own father. And when his sister was about to get hit, because they used to be thieves when they were younger, and she was about to get hit by 2 trains, he stopped it with his powers. And like the 2 trains collided and killed tons of people and injured more on there. As for the others, they don't know much about their backstory, just that they're criminals that have been in and out of jail and stuff like that. But in their past, they never murdered until they joined the elite. And so they think they are literally above the law and that nobody can touch them, not even political leaders and stuff. And they're here to reshape the world in their image and stuff and make the entire world love them so much that even if like the military or like another group of superheroes or Superman tries to stop them, then the people will turn on them. Now the Atomic Skull, which I love this version of the Atomic Skull. I first saw him in like the Justice League animated show, but he's cooler in this one. And so like I love his design. I love the purple flames and stuff. And he's the minor villain of the movie. He's just there with a very important role. He's there to show the difference between Superman and the elite. So basically, Atomic Skull is just going on a killing spree and everything. When he hits you with his flame like blast, your body turns to ash and you crumble up. And so he's just killing people left and right, and Superman has to like, stop him. And that's what he does over and over in the movie. And when he gets taken like to prison, because once Superman defeats him and everything, he sends him off to prison. And of course, this is what the elite is talking about. They're all like, living rent free in like a prison cell and eating like 3 courses a meal a day isn't gonna rehabilitate nobody. Just take their behind out because, like, if they get out, they're just gonna do something bad again. So that is literally what happened. He busts out of prison, he starts killing people again. And when Superman was talking to like the world leaders and stuff, there's this one congressman or senator or something from America. He has a son, and the senator is a fan of Superman, but he feels like Superman can sometimes be a little bit too soft on criminals, and his son is all for the elite. So when his father gets attacked, like, what's his name? Manchester's really ready to pop his head and everything, or a skull, I should say. And Superman is constantly telling him not to. Superman is constantly giving the elite every stinking chance there is in this movie to turn over a new leaf. He hasn't given up on them, and he's trying to teach them that his way is the best, but they don't want to listen. So angry and pissed off, Manchester is like pretty much doing what all those anti-woke guys do on YouTube. They brainwash people, get you to believe in what they do. So he's constantly telling the people that's around, Superman way is not the right way and mine is. And he asked that man's son, what you want me to do? And he's all like, do it. So then pop goes that dude's skull and everything. Superman tries to stop it, but wasn't able to. And the entire world saw that. And it's to the point where the American people literally turned on Superman. They say, they appreciate what he did for over all those years, but his way just isn't doing things. They want a different solution. And that's a really interesting question to ask. It's kind of like, what do you do with your criminals? Do you just put them in prison and hope they'll turn like a new leaf? Or do you execute them all? And it's something a lot of people around the world have literally debated in their head. Like, what do you do with these people? Killing is inhumane and everything, but these people are literal scum. And these people literally commit offense after offense and after offense. Like say like you murder somebody, but nobody saw it, but then the cops are somehow able to figure out with detective work that like you did it. You don't get the death penalty. You literally get like life in prison. If a jury or a judge will actually convict you in this stinking country. I'm telling you here and now, the justice system is very, very corrupt. That's something I've been saying like for years and stuff. I don't understand how all these people can like physically, sexually assault people and then just get put in jail for the rest of their life without like, any type of big bad repercussion and stuff, especially that of murder. However, if you murder somebody and they actually see you murder somebody, most likely you might get the death penalty if your state allows it. But most of the time now, whether or not somebody sees you do it or not, if you're like convicted, most likely you spend the rest of your life in jail. And it's just kind of like, some people just don't understand how is that fair. Like their loved one was once here, now they are not, and then bam, like the person who murdered them get to sit around in jail, eat food, pump like weights, watch TV, get on the internet, and have boom boom time with like his like roommate and everything or cellmate. And it's just like, that's not fair. Like, you know what I'm saying? So they do raise a very interesting question. I remember one time I was watching the news and there was some very, very, very privileged, like rich guy who was in college, and he was literally caught like assaulting a girl on the ground. And he got away with it because his family is super rich and everything. And it's just kind of like, how? Like this witness literally saw him do it and he got away with it. And there have been so many people who have committed murder in America only for them to get away with it and stuff, and who was literally convicted, not convicted, but like went through like trial and jury and just got set free. And like, so this movie does raise that like huge question of whose side are you on, the elite or that of like Superman. And as he's watching the news and stuff like that, he flies by and he sees kids playing superheroes. One boy's playing Superman and the other one's playing the Elite. And the little boy's all like, I don't want to be Superman. He's lame. He doesn't kill people. And they're like, well, too bad. You get to play him. He's like, well, that's not fair. You can kill me, but I can't kill you. And he's literally just watching them and it's just kind of like, he can't believe what he's hearing. So as he's talking to Lois and everything, she literally sides with the elite, you know what I'm saying? And he's taken by surprise by that. But he says no matter what, he's never gonna go on that side. Like he just can't do it. And like he's gonna prove like, to the world that like there is a better way for like tomorrow. So then when those two fictional countries are like fighting each other, he takes out their entire military. And when he takes out their military, he literally takes down their jets and their tanks and their missiles and everything. And he's all like, ha, see, I showed you. Like, you can stop this war without shedding any blood. But Manchester was one step ahead. While Superman was doing that, Manchester had his people literally kill every political leader in both those countries and stuff. And Superman is flabbergasted to where Superman loses control and he literally punches the crap out of Manchester. Like he literally flew up in the air just to punch him, and it was caught all on the news. And the way it was choreographed, like with the slow motion, was beautiful. And Lois was like scared. She's like, holy crap. Like she can't believe he did that because what's his name baited him in front of the entire world. And Manchester is so powerful, he can literally blow you up just by thinking it. And the elite shows up and they're ready to kill Superman, but Manchester's like, I'm gonna do this myself. So he's all like, he literally tells Superman to his face, write out your will and say goodbye to your loved ones because this is going to end tomorrow. Like he's just like done with Superman, and he gives a speech to the entire world talking about how like he's going to reshape the world and he's tired of superheroes and all this other crap, and that literally everybody around the world just saw Superman punch out the world's new favorite son. So when he's having a talk with like Lois, she's terrified. She literally tells Superman, because she knows he's Clark in this movie. So she literally tells Superman, like, she's terrified. Like, she's scared. Like, she really believes they could kill him and everything. Because he can't take on the hat because the hat is magical. He's going to have a hard time with Cold Cast because, like, he can literally hit Superman with, like, 10, like, the power of 10 suns. Pam can literally rip him apart and Manchester can literally blow him up and everything. And even his Kryptonian skin wouldn't be able to take it and crap. And he tells her about the story about the group of little kids that were playing and stuff. And like, for her to like, he leaves a note for her talking about believe, always believe. So he literally goes out there to fight them. And he pleads with them one last time to end this and everything. But so they go up to the moon and they fight. And when I tell you this is the best fight I've ever seen in any like Superman type thing, this is, well, except for Man of Steel. That was hands down the best fight I ever saw. Period. Period. That third act in Man of Steel will always go down in history. But that's live action. In animation, this is the best fight I've ever saw in animation because of how it's choreographed. So, like, you hear mainly, like, the music getting louder and louder, right? You hear, like, the punches and everything else in a little bit lower tone. And while Superman is fighting 3 of the elite members, you hear Manchester Black narrating, like, everything in this big old speech about how, like, justice is, you know, for justice and everything, and truth and justice and all that crap is like lame, and how like he has to do things his way, and how more people should follow him, and like he's literally just like brainwashing the world as the world is watching this huge fight. And I love it, like the fight, the choreography, the voiceover and everything. They literally tear Superman like a new hole. He is literally bleeding and everything. And so here comes Cold Cast, and dude hit him with the power of 10 suns, and all you see is a shred of Superman's cape. And it's like, holy crap, they killed him. Now, if you've ever read the comic, then you know the twist. I've never read it. I never wanted to read it because I wanted to, like, go in this blind, you know what I'm saying? And so all of a sudden they're like, cheering themselves on because they killed Superman. The whole world is in shock. And then all of a sudden you hear a creepy, eerie Superman voice in almost a sinister type way talking about he's done and everything. He's done like playing with kid gloves, and it's time to take out the trash. And all you see is blackness and a bunch of glowing red eyes coming towards the screen, and it's him. His face is jacked up, his costume is jacked up, and one of his eyes is bloodshot red. And all of a sudden, you don't know what's going on, but it's kind of like Batman where he's swooping in and doing stuff. You don't know what he's doing. And then Pamela gets hit with like a dart. And then inside the dart was like poison or something like that. And all her creatures just completely came out her body, and she was comatose. Then, like, the hat's all like, oh, I'm gonna take Superman out with magic because he can't handle magic. But then all of a sudden, Superman made like a tornado go around the hat, clocking in at like 500 miles an hour or something, to where the dude couldn't breathe and stuff. So, like, oh, I forgot to mention one thing in this movie, Bunny. So the elite, they travel in this kind of organic machine creature type thing. And so he used his power to like mess with the thing's body and the thing's like emotional nodules and stuff like that, to where it would do whatever he wants, or he'll give the creature pain. So he has the creature teleport them back to Earth. And then Cold Cast and literally Manchester, the last two left. And so they're gonna use the people in the crowd as kind of like human shields. And then all of a sudden, you just see something whoosh past like Cold Cast, and he's gone. And Manchester's scared. He's like, "What the heck is he?" And he's all like, "Orbit. I literally just punched him in orbit." See, when they was on the moon, Bunny supplied them with oxygen, but she's not doing it no more. So Manchester is literally about to wet his pants. He finally had the Superman he always wanted, but now he's terrified of that Superman because now Superman is not holding back. And he's trying to hit him with a much like energy blast as he can, but it's like not doing him no good. And there are people getting hit with like debris and all this other stuff, and Superman doesn't care. He's not even trying to save him. And Manchester's like, crap, dude, like I went a little too far with this. So then Superman literally looks into that dude's like eyes, just staring at them, and he heats up his heat vision, and all of a sudden you hear like a pop noise. And it's like, what the heck did he do? He literally uses his heat ray like a laser scalpel to go inside like Manchester eyes to his brain and shoot out that mutated like thing inside his brain that gives him his powers. So now he's completely defenseless. And Superman just literally starts slapping him around and everything like that. But then he's all like, if you think you can go back to who you was before and these people will worship you, you're living in a dream world, because they literally saw you murder tons of people. But then here comes a new twist. I literally thought Superman straight up murdered those people, right? But then it turns out that he just had his robot swoop in and save them at the last minute. So everybody, even the elite, are completely okay. The elite got teleported back to his fortress, which I like the Easter eggs in his fortress, by the way. The giant key, the shrunken city and stuff like that. And that's how you do an Easter egg before it became overblown in Hollywood. And he's literally depowering them, the robots are and stuff like that, so he can put them in prison safely and stuff. Then he gives this big inspirational speech about why he'll never kill and why, like, the world needs Superman to not kill nobody. And basically, if he did, like, he would be judge, jury, executioner, and literally a living god. Like, and no one person should have all that power and stuff. And once you take out one bad guy, well, then you have to take out the next, and then the next. And then who is to say one bad guy is more significant than the other? And what if somebody had like a minor crime and stuff like that, Like, how far will it keep going? It's very similar to that Justice Lord episode in Justice League and stuff, where one minor offense will literally get you put in jail or killed or something like that. And he literally doesn't want to be that type of person. He doesn't want to be the type of person that he has to put away and everything. And like the people will not respect him no more if he goes down that path. And like when I say this is like the best Superman movie, this is legit the best Superman movie ever and stuff. Like it's so well written and it's so well choreographed and it's so bright and colorful because this movie is supposed to be like a better tomorrow and stuff. And Superman's supposed to be that bright, colorful like person. And so, like, this is like seriously, dude, this is like the best Superman movie ever. And like, I'm so glad Bruce Timm made this because he could have picked any other movie, because he already did Death of Superman, he did All Star Superman, he did this one, he did Batman and Superman Public Enemy, and like both of those, and he didn't really do too many solo Superman movies and stuff. Even when they went to the New 52, they didn't do them because Superman is one of those type of characters that every once in a while you kind of get tired of them. Like there was even a point in the comics where the comics was so bad they literally killed Superman. Like that whole Death of Superman Doomsday thing. That's because comics were in decline and stuff, and they was trying to pique more interest in him. But then it actually happened. People thought like, you can't kill Superman. We love him. So then they started feeling bad because they weren't reading his comments, but they weren't doing good. So this is when they brought him back to life, and this is where now no superhero stays dead unless you're Uncle Ben from Spider-Man, but he's not a superhero. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.